You know, if I'm in a hurry, I'm going to go to the nursery and pick up a 6-pack of seedlings. I'll come home and I'll plant them right away. But if I want something special, say a new variety or an heirloom vegetable, I'm going to start from seed. This is not regular potting soil, it's seed starting mix. It's milled very, very fine and it's sterile, so there's no bacteria or fungi to potentially contaminate your little seedlings. So I'm going to get it all wet. Kind of like playing in the sand when you were a little kid. Now, before I even started this process, I saved some 4-packs from last year's seedlings, and I soaked them in dilute bleach to sterilize them. I'm going to fill them to maybe about an inch, within an inch of the top. I love to get my hands dirty. So I've already made labels. I sterilized these at the same time that I sterilized these containers, and then I wrote the name of the variety and the kind of plant I'm planting. This is Costoluto tomato and today's date. It's going into this one. And then I'm also going to plant a Van Gogh sunflower, and that's going to go into this one. Now I could have used a permanent marker, but once I plant these seedlings out in the sun, the permanent marker tends to fade, whereas pencil doesn't wash off and it doesn't fade either. Here's the seeds. I could put 1 into each cell, but to hedge my bets, I'm going to put in 2. Now, I'm not going to let 2 develop all the way. What'll happen is, once they sprout, I'm going to look at the seeds and I'm going to decide which is the stronger and which is the weaker in each of the cells. And as hard as it is to do, I'm going to pinch out that weaker one so the stronger one becomes a much better plant. Tomato seeds are really, really tiny. Look, see those? And these are color-coded because there's more than one variety in each of the envelopes. So I'm going to plant the pink ones together. Instead of doing 2, I'm going to go for 3 in one cell, and then I'm going to put the white ones in a different cell, and the green ones are going to go into a 3rd cell. And I'll probably just stop at that point. I don't have to plant 4 cells worth of tomatoes. There we go. A little bit of soil on top, tamp them down. So my seeds are in their cells. I'm going to water them with a measuring cup because that way I can put a very controlled amount of water on and not risk washing the seeds from one cell into the next. Now this is one of those tricks that nobody ever tells you about. If you've ever tried to start seeds and you found that they sprouted real nicely, and then when they were about this tall, it looked like some little kid came through and squeezed the stems of each one of them. What actually was happening is that they were attacked by something called damping off. Damping off is a fungus that develops in the surface of wet soil. To avoid that, we're going to cover the surface of each of these with a big handful of perlite. This stuff feels like styrofoam, but it isn't. It's real lightweight. The seedlings will be able to push up through it, and they'll keep the surface dry so that we don't risk infection. Okay, so I've got my sunflower, my tomatoes. I'm going to go put these in a nice warm spot, maybe in the kitchen window, and I'm going to wait. They'll germinate within a week or 2. I started these lettuce seedlings a few weeks ago, and now they're ready to go into the garden. There's my garden.
Black Gold potting soils, amendments, and fertilizers. Quality garden products designed for the gardener in all of us. Black Gold, all the riches of the earth.